I can't believe it. They changed their mind again. I can't work like this. The client keep on changing the goals and the mission statement of my project. How can I manage change if they cannot keep their goals straight and in line for more than a few weeks at a time? If you stumbled upon this type of feeling, you are not alone. This is much more common than you might think. And I would say that in most cases, clients keep on changing their minds and the goals seem like they're in flux all the time. Why does it happen? Because literally most of us don't know what motivates our actions. And whereas we're telling ourselves one story that usually seems so noble and nice, always portraying us as the heroes fighting for a noble cause, in reality, other elements motivate our actions. And I would recommend two things to do that. First of all, ask them, what are they afraid of? You would be surprised if you would ask them to name the things that they're afraid of and not just settle for the first two or three, which again will sound so benevolent, but actually force them to fill in 10 fears that might arise, even if they're small and minute. I would say that the fears that appear at the second part of that list are probably far better predictors for what causes this flux of goals all the times to occur. Why? Because at the end of the day, what drives our actions are issues that concern our welfare, the way that we perceive the world, how it would affect us, all of them legitimate. Let me share with you a little bit of trivia. Most of you that are listening to this video are probably paying a lot more on your insurances than you should. It's relics from the past, the wrong decisions, some circumstances that have changed, but the insurance companies probably have a very good interest to keep you on those routes, keeping on paying for things you would never benefit from. Now that you know it, and I would say even more, that it might be 30% more expensive than what you actually need to pay for. How many of you would take the time during this weekend or in the next following few months to actually go through your insurances and identify what you don't need and change it? Probably none of you. Now, you understand the value, you're going to save money and lots of it, and yet it doesn't define your actions because other issues would supersede. It's very similar to those organizations. So if you can identify by plainly asking the counterparts you're working with, what are those fears they are afraid of reaching, it might be highly illuminating. The second thing, a bit more tricky to use, it takes more experience, but try listening to what are they saying when they are jumping between topics. You'd be surprised, but most of us have associative thinking. We will start speaking on something and then jump to a different topic. I love those jumps because a lot of time I'm asking myself, why did they jump to that topic and why in connection to whatever was last said? You'd be surprised how revealing it can be in relations to what is going on there behind the facade of their faces, what is actually triggering and pushing forward their thoughts. So these are two things that you can always do and identify what is guiding those decisions. If you do that, you will find the goals of your project when they shift, they don't surprise you, and you can come back with different set of goals that would better suit your client than what they might actually understand or fathom about themselves. And I would end with this. If I would pose the same questions to you, if I would ask you as a professional, whether when it is you're facing a client or in other circumstances, what are you afraid of? And that might be a tricky question to ask ourselves. What is pushing our fears from behind the scenes and making us make those decisions that a lot of time are instigated by the fears, not only the desires of the silver lining we're hoping to achieve. So again, we specialize in driving change management and innovation in corporations. You can reach out to us, don't worry about it, and we can figure out if we can custom fit a solution for your needs. But you don't need us as professionals. You can do so much on your own. And hopefully all these series of videos would share with you different tools from different approaches with higher level of granularity, less, so you can pick and choose the tools that fit your needs and you feel comfortable with. And I assure you, I came across hundreds of tools and techniques that were brilliant, but were out of my comfort zone or out of my skill bandwidth, just not suiting for me. And your great ability as a professional to choose the tools that suit your toolkit is your next leap forward as a human being, as a professional, and as a provider for corporations, leading change and innovation. Good luck.